Hey, me and Matt here, and I'm Killer Kyle. Welcome to another episode of Wheels of Fury. Hey, me and Matt here, and this is Killer Kyle, and welcome to another episode of Wheels of Fury. And I know that we talked about this for weeks, months, getting ready for it, just like the Survivor series
Yes.
that we talked about. And today we go on with our top 10, top whatever matches. Empty arena matches, that is.
We say top 10, but generally never ends up top 10. It ends up generally more.
But yeah, when I chose a few, I chose about 11 with honorable mentions, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see how it goes.
So with that, let's get it done.
Yeah.
So,
You know, the one thing about empty arena matches, and there's been several throughout the last several decades, but with empty arena matches, in general, when you have a match in an arena with an audience, you hear chops, maybe punches, you hear things fairly well. But with no audience, nobody cheering and all that extra added noise, if you will, things seem to be louder.
yeah, you get to hear the grunts, the chops, the punches, the steel steps, if you will. Just things that you would think, are awesome when you're there, but when you're watching on TV and there's an audience, you don't hear too much.
Yeah.
At least with an empty arena match, you can hear the wrestlers. You can hear them, putting each other through hell.
Oh yeah. Like, with an audience, you do hear things, but when there's no audience, you hear everything.
Yes.
It's just when there's no audience, everything they do seems to be on a much not really grander scale, but the sound is expanded more.
Yeah.
It can travel further, so it's louder.
Yeah, for sure. Number 10. So number 10, we're going to start off with a recent match. Now, WrestleMania 35 was going to be at Raymond James Stadium.
Yes.
Last year, unfortunately,
COVID.
yeah, due to the beginning of COVID and all of that bullshit, it decided that they were going to have all their shows at the Performance Center.
Yes.
And yeah, they decided to do that, and then they decided to have half cinematic matches and half, I guess, matches in the Performance Center.
Yeah.
So this match was a Falls Count Anywhere match. You have the returning Edge versus Randy Orton.
I thought it was your last man standing.
That was last man.
Foul! Edge and Randy are WrestleMania 35. Yeah, this match is really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how an empty arena match can really make a difference, and
Yes.
you saw how hard these two worked.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, starting off in the entranceway, And I don't know if they even went in the ring.
I don't think they did, honestly.
I know that they made it through Gorilla.
Yeah.
And then they wrestled in the back.
Yeah, they made it through Gorilla. They went through different parts of the performance center. At one point, they were in like a gym area.
Yes.
With a bunch of like workout equipment and did some stuff in there. And then they eventually ended up on the top of 18-wheeler, basically.
Yes.
And it's like, talk about taking your creativity to like the next level. As far as like what you're going to do for a match and like involving other things. Like, who would ever thought to have part of a match take place on the top of the trailer of an 18-wheeler, basically?
Yeah, and I mean, you gotta think about it too. This isn't Hell in a Cell. This is like, I mean, Hell in a Cell. You're on top of that. It's dangerous enough as it is. But you're looking at a truck that's, like, barely wide.
Yeah.
You can fall off that thing easily.
Yeah.
I guess, if you will. It's just kind of interesting how they were able to stand up on there and not lose their balance that much.
Yeah.
But, anyways, Edge won the
Yes.
match, and this was the first of two, because, of course, Backlash, you had the greatest wrestling match
Ever.
Yeah, well, that's
what
to,
it was being touted as. I mean, it was a really good match. I don't know about the greatest ever, but it was damn good. The thing that I really found interesting was you had this match at WrestleMania 35, and then it was like a couple days later on NXT, you had the one final beat with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
Yes. Oh.
And they fought everywhere. They even went outside, and they even decided to use trailer of an 18-wheeler outside.
Well, I should have put this on the list. Now, the thing with that match is that that's when Gargano turned heel.
Yes.
Had no idea that was going to happen. And see,
No.
that's one of the things that is tricky with an empty arena match. Because I didn't know what was happening. I thought Candice just, like, gave Ciampa a low blow and that was it. But that was the initial heel turn.
Yeah, that was the initial beginning of Johnny Gargano as a heel, and then shortly after that, the way became a thing and
Yeah.
took off and went from there.
So, number 9.
Versus Motor City Machine Guns in an empty arena match, and I watched the video of that. My God! Not only do you hear if something happened in the ring, or somebody going into the steps or the barricade, and you got chairs set up on the other side of the barricade for the fans or whatever. But they're like, let's break his fucking neck! And, all this other stuff, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
But, that rivalry at the time of Young Bucks being in Impact Wrestling, TNA, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
it was just so intense that they had a rivalry for, I want to say, like 2, maybe 3 months, somewhere in there roughly. And yeah, I think it can finish with this empty arena match. And they did a lot of wild stuff in this match.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, their rivalry was so heated and so intense that they're wanting to permanently injure each other, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, let's break his fucking neck and let's fucking kill him and all this other stuff.
Yeah. And then that's the passion.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's kind of, again, what you don't hear when you have a live audience. Well, sometimes you do, but this is kind of, this made wrestling more fun to watch.
Yeah.
So.
And, you know, to have Young Bucks and Motorcycle Machine Guns hands down become two of the greatest tag teams in pro wrestling is absolutely outstanding. Now, of course, Young Bucks are in AEW right now. Chris Sabin is solo in Impact. I think Alex Shelley may be behind the scenes with Impact. I'm not sure.
I think so. You don't see too much of them.
No, like, they did have a Young Bucks reunion when they faced, I think it was the Good Brothers for the tag titles.
Oh, you mean Motor City Machine Guns?
Yeah.
Foul!
And then Chris Sabin has been solo for the last 2 years, I'll call it. And yeah, I think Alex is a producer or something like that.
Well, he did appear with Kushida in NXT for
Yes.
the match. So I thought that was pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah, that was cool.
But that's the thing, you know. Just off topic for a second, you know. You look at NXT and you have guys from Impact coming over for a cup of coffee.
Right.
Alex Shelley, James Storm,
Yeah.
Eric Young. Well, Eric Young came in twice.
Yeah.
But other than that, you look at independent, like Ring of Honor guys, if you will, and you had the American Wolves turn into the American Pitbulls for some reason.
Yeah. I don't know.
Undisputed Era. You know?
Right, yeah.
But it was very cool to see Kushida and Alex Shelley in a tag team for one match.
Yeah.
In NXT.
That was, and I mean, like, Kushida and Alex Shelley were one hell of a tag team.
Yeah.
They were partners for a few years in New Japan. They were the Time Splitters.
That's right, yes.
And I think they ended up holding the junior heavyweight tag team titles.
Oh, yeah.
So to have that reunion in WWE NXT, you know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Number 8. So we head to a stadium match. This was cool. Manoa Suzuki versus Sakatoshi Tanagi.
Yeah.
And this was a great match. I mean, you talk about an arena, but then you go to a stadium where you have the run of the whole fucking building.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, these two wrestled on the field. They wrestled on stairs. You had Aja Kong introduce them, you know.
Yes.
You basically had these two beat the shit right out of each other.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that Suzuki won. I will look that up. However, this was still a very good match. If my memory, I try to watch these matches over and over again. I watch each one of them once, but I do know that this was a very good match. I mean, New Japan always delivers.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And so... Number 7.
Next we go on to another Impact Empty Arena match. You got Rockstar Spud, or Drake Maverick, against Braxton Sutter.
Yeah. And you know, I could have easily put Rockstar Spud and Swoggle in this category, but
Meh.
this was actually very good too. And I mean, the viciousness of Braxton Sutter.
Yeah.
I mean, Rockstar Spud got his in too. I mean, for how he's being used in WWE, yeah, he didn't do too much in Impact either, but for what he did do, I mean, he was also a very good competitor.
Oh,
And,
yeah. Hell yeah. Rockstar Spud, he's a very, very good wrestler. And, you know, it's kind of like you almost underestimate him because he doesn't wrestle so much. But yet, when he does wrestle, he's so talented.
Yes.
Like, I mean, how he didn't end up with the championship in Impact,
Oh, I know.
or even fucking NXT yet, or wherever, or whatever,
I mean,
boggles my fucking mind.
Oh, I know. And I mean, you think that he's being used as a comic wrestler in WWE. Shit, when you look at him with EC3, and then you have the Aaron Rex
Oh yeah.
storyline when Aaron Rex was put in the god awful fucking Gorgeous George parody. I don't even know what the fuck he did to deserve that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was used as a comic wrestler, but when it came down to it, he knew how to fucking wrestle.
Oh, he could go. He could easily go.
But yeah, Braxton won this match, and you know, just kind of one of those things where I wish. I mean, obviously now they have empty arena matches, so it's not a big deal. You
Yeah.
know, but you know, it is what it is. This was a very good match.
Yeah.
Number 6. We're still sticking with Impact. We have this was pretty famous, and it's been used a lot in highlights for Impact. You've got Sting versus Kurt Angle.
The irony of this match was the fact that both Sting and Kurt Angle at the time were members of the Main Event Mafia.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the lines, they got a beef with each other. What the beef was, I don't fucking remember. It was like Kurt said he was better than Sting, or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
And then it's like, alright, we'll have this empty arena match, we'll hash it out, and then go back to Main Event Mafia business afterwards, I guess, and yeah.
And again, you look at the violence and, you know, how they can explore the space, if you will. And they did just that. They went up to the rafters or whatever, and they fought there.
Mhm.
You know, they got busted open. They used all the stops. I can't remember who won.
I honestly don't think there was a conclusion to the match, to be honest.
Because I remember seeing bits and pieces of it. Like I said, it's been used in highlights, and I think I may have seen it in real time when it started. I do, definitely. But I do remember the Main Event Mafia.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this was a really good match as well. And, you know, it's a shame that Sting didn't have a good career in WWE.
Well, it's not so much that he didn't have a good one, it just was cut short.
Right.
And then, of course, he returned in AEW, and
Yeah.
yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. Number 5.
Next we have
The Starbucks and the Outsiders.
Starbucks.
I have no idea either.
The Outs. I don't fucking know. Outsiders, you know, everybody remembers the Outsiders. Starbucks.
Yeah,
It seems weird saying that because I can't help but think of the coffee shop, coffee chain, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah, when I fucking saw that, I thought, okay, I've never in my life heard of Starbucks. The team.
Yeah.
You know? So it's kind of weird to say that. But initially, this was basically a two-sided ass kicking. If you will, and take team terms, if you will.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Scott and Kevin basically beat the shit right out of these people.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really, they didn't wrestle all over the arena. It was outside of the ring, inside of the ring.
So it was more or less just your run-of-the-mill tag team match.
Yeah.
Just with no fans.
Yeah, a tornado tag team match without no fans. So.
Seems kind of pointless to put this on an empty arena match list without okay, yeah, it was under the terms of empty arena, but like the previous 5 matches we've talked about have had some intrigue and excitement and just violence galore. This is just like, it was a walk in the park for Kevin Scott.
Oh, I know.
They
Yeah,
had no one in the crowd. Ah.
Yeah, I know. I figured I'd just put that in there. I mean, did it do anything? No. I mean, NWO has had a lot more matches that were fucking epic. Well, I wouldn't say epic, but they were better than this. And what happened to Starbucks? The fuck if I know. But
Yeah.
Number 4.
so this was another recent match from WrestleMania 36. This was the second night.
Yeah.
So you have the main event. You've got AJ Styles versus The Undertaker in a boneyard match.
This match is fucking awesome.
Oh my god. I mean, when we talked about it, it was like, we didn't know what the fuck a boneyard match was.
No, we didn't, but essentially when you look at the overall concept of it, it was a politically correct terminology for a buried alive match. That's all it fucking was.
That's true as well. And I mean, again, when you look at the Mark Calloway Undertaker trilogy, whatever the fuck that series was, before he retired. And he said, you know, this all happened, you know, as far as he knew, him and AJ were going to wrestle at WrestleMania in Raymond James Stadium.
Yeah.
So then his brother dies, and then they're going to go do this because of COVID. They decided, alright, well, instead of doing it at the Performance Center, because that would be lame,
Yeah.
well, they're going to go and they're going to do it outside somewhere in Florida.
Yeah, we'll find a cemetery somewhere and we'll get permission to use it and have this match.
In a fucking barn.
Oh, yeah.
So you have Undertaker, and he says, alright, so AJ Styles came in the ring on Raw before COVID, and he is cutting a promo on The Undertaker. In my opinion, one of the best promos I heard last year. Going on about how Undertaker should stay retired.
Right.
And all of that shit. And truth be told, after WrestleMania 33, I was hoping that he would call it quits. But boys will be boys, and yeah, he didn't want to do that. He wanted to go out on a better highlight than WrestleMania 33.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, AJ's in the ring, and he's, you know, shooting, calling him Mark Calloway, and oh, Michelle's got your balls in her purse and all that shit. So then, you know, Mark's like, okay, I know that it was a work, But I can't just beat him as The Undertaker. So I might as well use Unholy Trinity. Like, you got Undertaker, you got an American Badass, and then you've got Markel. Because he's avenging his wife.
Oh, yeah.
So this match, you had him coming down the road in a motorcycle to Metallica. You know, you have AJ, and he's goading The Undertaker. He has his fist through a window of a car, which broke, or made cuts, whatever.
Well, let's rewind a little bit here.
Okay.
So, at first you see this hearse pull into the gates of the cemetery.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, this is interesting. And then you see Gallows and Anderson get out, and they open up the back of the hearse and slide out a casket and open it up, and there's AJ in the casket, and he's like, Undertaker, where are you? Come on. And then you got Undertaker riding a motorcycle, and you got Metallica playing in the background, and then he shows up, and they get at her, and Undertaker tries to hit AJ and puts his hands through the window of the hearse and cuts his arm up pretty good, and then they just fight.
Oh god, yeah. And Gallows and Anderson show up eventually inside the barn. And then the doors open, and you have, like, I don't know if they were druids or...
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah, they're fighting everywhere. You got Gallows and Anderson involved, and you got these druid people, and they're on the roof of the barn, and Undertaker takes him and chokeslams him off of it.
Oh, yeah.
Drags him to the burial site, and he picks him up, like, alright kid, you've got my respect, and goes to walk away, boots AJ, he falls in the hole, and then Undertaker goes to this tractor, it's got the buckets full of dirt, and he dumps the bucket onto AJ, and of course he shoulder shot in the hole, and there's an arm sticking out. He's like, okay, that's kind of funny. And then of course, you see Undertaker standing there, and he's like, okay, match is over. And then you see him drag his hand across and pull off, looks like grass or whatever, off of the headstone, and it says AJ Styles.
Oh, yeah, 1977.
Yeah.
2020.
So that added little touch was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, this was fucking amazing, like I said. I mean, this was the perfect way to end The Undertaker's career.
Yeah.
As a wrestler.
Yeah.
You know, you have a few months later when they have the last Undertaker appearance at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
The 30th anniversary of The Undertaker at Survivor Series, and that was emotional in itself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I respect people that stay retired. They're like, yeah, you know what, I can't do it no more. I mean, that's just kind of, my body's not in good shape. I can't do what I used to, and you know, I can't just half-ass it. So, is it possible for Mark Calloway to show up in AEW to have that match with Sting?
Maybe.
Probably, maybe, but I doubt it. It could happen. I'm not saying it can't happen. I mean, honestly, he was always loyal to WWF, WWE.
Yeah.
But you gotta look at it that he was also in WCW. He was also in Dallas Wrestling.
Yeah.
So if he can show up on AEW, that would be pretty sick. And have that final match with Sting. We always wanted to see Undertaker and Sting, so why the fuck not?
Yeah. But when he decided he was gonna hang up the boots and retire, to me it seems fitting that he have his last match at WrestleMania and have his final farewell, if you will, at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Have his career definitively come to a conclusion at the event that he debuted in, and then also have his final match at the event that his career ultimately took off.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, the streak wasn't really mentioned until WrestleMania 18, I think.
Yeah.
But it was born
Yeah,
WrestleMania
Wres-
7.
Yeah, WrestleMania 18 was number 10.
Yeah.
And that's when he did acknowledge the streak. I'm surprised nobody picked up on that, you know. As soon as he kept winning matches, it's like, well, now you have the streak at number 10, so.
Yeah, I mean, as the WrestleManias are going on and Undertaker's winning, I don't really know if anybody really, like, nothing was said by WWE, but I don't really know if, like, the fans ever really picked up on it. And then, you know, at WrestleMania 18, when he beat Flair, and he's standing on the apron and you see him do this, that's when it's like, okay, we got something here.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3.
So next we've got Matt Hardy and
Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy.
The final deletion.
Yeah. This was a really good match, too.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you know, and it all started on Impact, and I mean, they tried to replicate it on WWE, but I mean, you look at Matt Hardy, who had the match with Jeff, and he had that fall, and that gave him the amnesia, if you will,
Yeah.
turned him into broken Matt Hardy, which at the time I was very annoyed, and I really hated it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I grew to like it, but you look at the vignettes that those two had,
Oh, yeah.
and the Hardy compound, and it's like, that was cool, because they had like a fucking zoo of sorts, and they had like a, you know, kids' playground for their kids, and a dirt bike path, and shit like that, so that was very cool. And so this match was also very cool. And I mean, yeah, they eventually teamed together,
Yes.
but
Yeah. And, you know, you got broken Matt Hardy, and then you got Brother Nero. And, the whole match was really, really good. And then when they teamed together, it just took things to a completely different level.
yeah,
And just, yeah, tag team championships across the board, and then, of course, returning to WWE WrestleMania in Orlando, and
yeah.
that was cool.
Yeah, although I kind of wish that Matt would have changed his hair back, because then we wouldn't have got
Yeah, that was
woken Matt.
odd,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, he's on AEW now, and
Big money match.
big money Matt, yep. Apparently, Jeff, who just left WWE again, and hopefully will make, you know, his last days as a wrestler in AEW with Matt.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think there is talks about that, so...
Yeah, it's, I think a little bits here and there.
But, yeah, this was awesome. These two guys were... And even, you know, being thrown into the river,
Yeah.
that was cool. You had Senor Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course, Rebby on the piano or whatever. I was gonna say organ, but it was a piano. But,
Yeah,
yeah.
she can actually play the piano quite well.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why they didn't bring her in WWE, but...
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of cool because you have the legacy, and who knows, what will happen when Matt's kids get older.
Oh yeah.
If they themselves want to be wrestlers. I mean, he has a daughter now, so it's like 3 boys and a daughter, and you know, and Jeff's girls can be wrestlers. Who knows what the future holds for those?
Yeah,
kids.
Matt's got 3 boys and a girl. Jeff's got 3 girls. Man, that family's getting bigger, I swear. Anyway.
Yeah.
Number 2.
So now you have this epic feud from 1999. Sunday Night Heat, you've got a WWF title on the line. You got the champion Mankind versus The Rock. And this is probably the second time that Mankind actually, well, he defended the title and won against The Rock.
Yeah.
But this was very cool.
Yeah, this was friggin' insane. And like, they decided to have a Sunday Night Heat during the halftime show of the Super Bowl that year.
Oh yeah, I think so.
But yeah, they friggin' went everywhere.
Mm.
They're in a kitchen, they're in offices, they're like, they started in the ring and they just went damn near all over the arena, and I believe the match ended in a docking area
Yeah.
with a forklift.
Yeah.
There is a pallet with some, I think it was kegs on it or something, and fully lowered it on top of the Rock to pin him. Yeah, that's taking creativity to a completely different level.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, this was a good match, and I mean, as much flack as people give 1999 with all the rapid title changes,
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. That was my 9th grade year. That year was the year of The Rock in Austin. This was the year of Mankind and The Rock, and so on and so forth.
yep.
So, I mean, I don't know how much you were quite young too, so.
Oh, I remember many matches with Rock and Foley, and yeah, they always had great matches against each other.
Yeah.
It seemed to be that Mick Foley, whether it's Mankind or, well, generally Mankind, was one of the few guys that Rock could be in the ring with and just have a fantastic match.
Oh god. Yeah.
I mean, he could do it with Mankind, he could do it with Triple H, he could for sure do it with Austin, he could do it with, he had some pretty good matches too with Taker.
Oh, he did, yeah.
So, yeah.
Number 1.
And top of the list, the final empty arena match. We've talked about this so many fucking times. It's insane, but it's that fucking good.
Yeah.
Go back to 1971. 81?
Yeah.
I think it was earlier than that, anyways. 81, and Memphis Wrestling. You got the infamous empty arena match, the King Jerry Lawler and Terry Funk.
I mean, again, it's kind of. Terry Funk was ahead of his time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a part of the Funk Brothers, and then you have the dad, obviously. You didn't really think that, you didn't think much anyways about hardcore wrestling or like dangerous wrestling. I mean, there obviously was,
Yeah.
but you know, Terry Funk was one of the pioneers of,
Oh yeah.
like that kind of style. And to have him and Jerry Lawler and many, many matches in Memphis
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And it was like, shit, let's have an empty arena match.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's see how that goes. And it probably was one of the first because nobody ever thought about it. You had Lance Russell, who was beside the ring,
Mhm.
talking about the match, and then lighting a cigarette and then throwing it out. I don't know how the goddamn field didn't light up. But anyways, and then of course you have Terry Funk coming out, and he's cussing quite a bit, and Lance is trying to calm him down and whatever. Then eventually you have Jerry Lawler coming out, and then they talk smack, and then they start wrestling. And just the brutality that those two had. I mean, you know, I think that's where Mick Foley got most of it when he was Mankind.
Probably, yeah.
And the squeals and just the shit, the aggression.
Mhm.
And then, of course, you know, the infamous spike to the eye.
I think Funk went outside the ring to, I think it was maybe the timekeeper's table and broke the leg off it. Because back then they used actual fucking wooden tables. Broke the leg off of that. It was going to hit Lawler with it. Lawler checked his hand or something and hit him in the eye. And then, my eye, Lance, call the doctor, my eye. Oh yeah, Terry could fucking sell.
Oh, the first time I saw that, it broke my fucking heart. Obviously, that's what a wrestler should do.
Yeah,
You know, make you mad, make you upset, make you sad.
yeah.
All those emotions. And Terry Funk was very good at that.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, that was basically the match kind of stopped.
After that, yeah.
So, and again, they had some very good matches. You know, I don't know how many they had after that, but I mean, it was very cool. Yeah, you know, Texas versus Tennessee
Yeah.
type deal. And I mean, of course, shortly after that, you would have the whole thing with Kaufman and Lawler. And,
Yeah.
you know, Terry would go on to WWF actually. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, this was a good match. And I mean, we're always going to talk about it no matter what.
Oh yeah. Because it's that damn good.
That was a very good video.
Yeah. A lot of fun to talk
That
about.
was a very, yeah. So, I mean, I thought about doing honorable mentions. I don't know if you have any.
Well, I mean, one match that was really, really good that happened during quarantine time that we both talked about and can have it as an honorable mention in this video. Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, the swamp fight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was very, very good.
It's interesting to say that because at the time I thought you hated that.
No, what I hated was the one with Cena and Wyatt.
Yeah. Now, see, that's where we disagree. The only reason I say that is because you look at Cena and Wyatt, and it was almost like you were closing a chapter on John Cena and WWF. Although it came back a couple of years later, but you look at John Cena, and you had him in the NWO gimmick for the video, and then you had the whole thing where they had the match at WrestleMania 30, and then you had just a bunch of different things. I didn't mind that match at all, but I look at the Swamp match, and it was good. I don't understand the whole Sister Abigail thing. I
Yeah.
still don't understand Sister Abigail. I wish they were gonna go somewhere with that. I think there was a point where I thought that Courtney Rush was gonna make her WWE debut and be Sister Abigail. Or hell, even bring back Victoria, like I said in the last video we did. But yeah, I mean, you want to go empty arena match, you know, you look at many good Ring of Honor matches. However, the pure tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't wrestle all over the place, obviously. But it was actually, they had some very good technical matches.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess in a way of, empty arena matches, there was no going outside the stand or really anything like that.
Or no.
No. I can't think of anything else.
I don't really think you can classify it as an empty arena match. Well, I guess you could. But it was still a really good match nonetheless.
Yeah, those were good matches.
Which was also from WrestleMania 35. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Kevin fucking jumping off the side.
Yeah, we talked about that too.
And I remember we talked about that moment. And of course, when they were initially intending on having WrestleMania at Raymond James Stadium, and you got the big ship,
Yeah.
and Kevin was intending on jumping off of that. I think it's like,
So anyhow, yeah. I mean, I'm sure we're missing a couple, but
yeah,
an empty arena match nowadays is just kind of like normal. I mean, Ring of Honor is on hiatus for till March probably.
yeah,
And there's fans and WWE fans and AEW. I know that Impact is along the same lines as I think Ring of Honor was. Like they're
yeah,
doing their shows on TV with empty arena,
yeah,
but they do pay-per-views with an audience. So,
yeah.
anyways, this was a fun video to do. So, that being said, for me, Matt, this is Killer Kyle. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Deuces.